We will be installing OspreyPOS server version 12.8.105. This machine in question is a Windows 11 virtual machine on VMware Workstation. It is a clean install with the exception of Google Chrome and Microsoft PowerToys. To begin, I will obtain the OspreyPOS server installer from the OspreyPOS Dropbox. If you are a reseller and don't have access, please reach out. So let's put this over here. I'm going to right click and choose Run as Administrator. Now, the installer from prior versions of OspreyPOS 11.7, 11.4, and so on always required the manual installation of Progress OpenEdge first. Starting with 12.8.105, not only will that no longer be the case, all possible components will be installed via this one installer. Those include a JDK, a .NET, a Visual C runtime, OpenEdge, and the Osprey Point of Sale app. As I have UAC enabled, it's going to come up and prompt me. If you do not have that enabled, you may not see this. Click yes. Now it's actually going to go ahead and launch the Install Shield installer itself. Please do note the initial setup here from when I right-clicked and chose Run as Administrator until now will take a little longer than prior versions, but that is because this installer does include all those third-party pieces, including OpenEdge, .NET, Java, etc. I'm going to go ahead and click on Next, accept the license agreement, Next, and then Install. Side by side, this installer should in general be quicker than the prior installers simply because it does include everything, so you don't have to take the time to track down your software keys for OpenEdge, download and install OpenEdge, track down the right Java runtime, track down the right Visual C runtime, or anything else. It all runs from here. Additionally, it's a great advantage to have everything embedded, as we are guaranteed to have the correct versions of software. No more downloading the wrong version of OpenEdge or grabbing the wrong version of .NET, etc. All of that being embedded eliminates that. Additionally, no longer having to worry about which options to install or not install on OpenEdge. Since the installation is embedded, the install is completely scripted and will run on its own, install everything that is needed, and then complete. Okay, as we can see, the file copy is almost complete. Okay, now it will install the JDK. Now we move on to the .NET installation. Next, we will move on to installing OpenEdge. As was prior mentioned, this is all scripted. Okay, the silent install is starting. As it says, there are 3 steps. It's moved past the first step into the second step, which is where it actually installs the OpenEdge files. As you can see, we're coming up on the conclusion of the OpenEdge installer. From here, we'll move into stage 3, which includes, but is not limited to, the configuration of the OpenEdge installation. Upon this part completing, we will move on and start installing the Osprey point of sale once everything else is finished. Okay, now we're up to installing the SQL ODBC drivers. Please keep in mind that OspreyPOS itself has no requirement for the SQL drivers. However, it does allow for third-party access to look into the database. Osprey Retail does recommend that SQL access be read-only, as writing values to the database without extreme caution can cause, among other things, data integrity issues. Okay, the silent install is completed on the Open Edge. Now it's going to wrap up some file tailoring and move on. As you can see, our icons have been created. We have our back office icon. This is shared memory access. It is generally recommended that a web client be loaded here if needing to access OspreyPOS on the server. We have the Drizzly icon for the Drizzly drink integration. The ecom icon for more generic e-commerce, including 24/7 commerce, which includes Shopify, WooCommerce, etc. We must come over here and click Allow on the HTTP server to allow the HTTP server to have access, just as in prior versions. That is utilized for clients. We have our emailer icon. That allows for sending of emails, be it reports, be it error messages, be it customer emails, be it receipts, etc. If any of that functionality is desired, that must be running. We have the Kafka consumer and producer. Those are replacements for the Sonic sender and receiver. Kafka is a newer, more supported technology, whereas the Sonic technology is being slowly deprecated. We'll come back to that in a second. We also need to allow the OpenJDK platform through the firewall. You can, upon completion, go back into the firewall and tweak any rules you like. Back to the Kafka. Osprey is recommending that going forward. However, we do still support Sonic. So if you're using Sonic or neither, you can delete the Kafka icons. The same goes for the Sonic icons. If you're using Kafka or no communication at all to host, you can delete the Sonic icons. At this point, we're finished. I'm going to go ahead and click Finish. And almost 100% of the time, it should prompt for a reboot due to all of the things that it just installed. So we're going to allow it to reboot, and then we will pick back up where we've left off. Thanks. Okay, at this point, we've restarted and relogged on. We have our icons on the screen. I'm going to go ahead and drag the Office one over here. Now we're going to go ahead and click on this to start the back office. As with the new host clients, what it's going to do is it's going to go ahead and load up to a traditional looking screen with the menu options down the left, the middle of the screen where you will see your screens open up, and then a new right side of the screen favorites, which we will cover in a separate video. So we're going to go ahead and log in. Our default login is Unify POS and 1966, as with prior versions. It's prompting me to change that. I need to enter my current password, and then I can enter any new password I want. Of course, this depends upon your password options within OspreyPOS. Okay, here's the screen layout as I said. If I were to open up a screen, let's open up system parameters. It opens up just as before. As I said, we'll discuss favorites in a separate video. So I'm going to go ahead and close out the app and hope you have a good day. Thank you very much.